Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
We know how important your company is to the community.
Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Louisiana and Beyond.
And last week, we took a look back at the origins of the Terrebonne Levee Conservation District, one of the state's most successful.
And tonight, we hear more about what led to that success from its Executive Director Angela Hidalgo and Board President Tony Alford.
And we'll also share the thoughts of Colonel Scotty Autin, Jason Bergeron, Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser, Gordon Dove, and representatives of local engineering firms Stevie Smith, O'Neill Malbrew, and Mitch Mormont.
And in our guest segment, we hear from Travis Schonacher and Justin Lane from Sea Level Construction.
All tonight, right here on Louisiana and Beyond.
Louisiana and Beyond is brought to you in part by Edison Schwest Offshore, Bollinger Shipyards, Crosby Tugs LLC, Grand Isle Shipyard, Greater Lafourche Port Commission, Nichols State University, and Sea Level Construction.
Edison Schwest Offshore is more than a fleet. We're an interconnected network of vessels, logistics hubs, and a fast-growing workforce of over 19,000 dedicated professionals across the globe. From the United States to Brazil and the Middle East to Southeast Asia, Schwest provides cutting-edge solutions to a worldwide community. And in the face of evolving demands across the industry, we are committed to operating as the best in the world.
When it comes to marine towing, Crosby Tugs has over 40 years of experience. We have the know-how to safely assist ships into and out of their berths, escort oil tankers quickly and safely, tow ships, respond to fuel spills, and work in extreme conditions. Founded in 1977 by Vinton and Kurt Crosby, we are one of the largest privately owned marine transportation businesses in the industry. If it's on the water, let Crosby be your transporter.
At GIS, putting people first has always been our thing. As we always say, our people are our most important assets. With over 20 office locations, we deliver innovative solutions across 4 key markets: energy, industrial, infrastructure, and power. Our 4 main service groups house over 20 service capabilities, supporting projects from start to finish. We're proud of our legacy and even more excited about what's ahead.
Welcome to Bollinger Shipyards. For nearly a century, our family of skilled shipbuilders has driven innovation and excellence, creating some of the world's most advanced vessels. Today, we are at the forefront of our industry and redefining the future of naval warfare. At Bollinger, we turn challenges into opportunities and careers into legacies. Here, you're part of something bigger. Any yard can build a ship. We don't just build ships. Together, we're building the future.
In a world where you can choose to be anything, who do you choose to be? At Nichols State University, with over 70 distinct degree programs, we believe our students can be anything. Be an artist, a chef, a journalist, an educator, a lifesaver. But no matter what you choose to be a colonel. Be more at Nichols State University.
Last week, we heard about the humble beginnings of the Terrebonne Levee Conservation District.
And tonight we hear about what's the latest from Angela Hidalgo.
It's amazing. We are doing a lot of construction. We have a lot of forward momentum, and we have a lot of alignment with the federal government and the local Army Corps of Engineers. And with our board leadership, we're actually delivering a lot of of significant improvements along the alignment. So we're doing really well.
She's great. She's a great partner. She's an accountant at heart, and so I love it. She keeps her team and our team on track, and that's what we need. I mean, we if we can come together as a team, it doesn't mean we have to agree on everything. That's okay. We can have our disagreements on how to do things, but we both want the same thing. We both want the same end state. And I think that's what's really been valuable about building these relationships, because you're approaching the problem from a point of trust. And I think that's been the hard thing with the Corps. And I can own that. And I can actually completely understand that is that we will tell you something and the immediate response is, well, I don't know if I can trust you. Right? I don't know if I can trust that you say you're going to do something, but historically it hasn't come that way. And so I think, and it's not, I think it's been the last iterations of commanders have really worked hard to build trust that, hey, work with us on this and we're going to get there. And we're starting to see the fruits of that play out with physical infrastructure.
So he is very aligned with delivery of milestones. And that is going to be super important for us going forward, because he's not just, how can we move the project along? He's like, how can we say yes? How can we deliver now? What can we do to shorten the time span between, design and construction? He's all about getting to cutting the ribbon for groundbreaking ceremonies, which is super important for us, right? So that's been a little different pace than we're used to seeing. He's also kind of opened the doors to some of the inner workings of the Corps so that we can kind of see how things are moving along and we can understand the challenges that the federal government has, because their challenges are much different than ours. And which is why this new funding mechanism is going to work so well for us, because we can do things in a different way than the Corps can do things. They have guidelines and laws that prevent them from doing things that the locals can do at a faster pace, at a cheaper rate. So those small little wins in a construction schedule make a big difference.
It's a regular basis I get a call that says, we want to come see what y'all are doing. And then what you see with what the levee district has done versus the parish levees, and that's why when you look at a 15-foot in Terrebonne is equivalent to an 18-foot in Lafourche, because in Lafourche, when it goes over, you're in backyards. Well, in Terrebonne Parish, if it goes over that 15 or we have a problem, then we have a lot of things between there and really where people live and are really affected. So again, continual work and really just working to make sure that we keep bringing everything up. We're bringing up levees to 15 foot in some areas. We still got some locks that need to be built in the intercoastal. Just continuing to work and move towards a direction of making sure our residents are protected. And going from 11,000 homes flooding for Rita to 3 for Barry to 0 for Francine. It's you can't say more, or can't say to more of what's happening than a picture that I have that shows the water up against the top of the levee. And it said a picture's worth 1,000 words, but that picture's worth $1.2 billion.
You know what? That's what Louisiana people do, but y'all are a great example of not waiting around for the governor, the state or the federal government to do it for you. You went out and said, look, we need this protection now. And I think that has brought new attention to this area and why it's so important to protect it. So, the local leaders and what they did is something that ought to set precedents for the rest of the state.
I think we're doing very well. I certainly have experience of being in Pointe-aux-Chenes for, Rita, which is good 20 years ago now, and leaving from Pointe-aux-Chenes and trying to get to Dulac because we were having flooding issues in Dulac and Pointe-aux-Chenes and Localia. And I'm driving through rising floodwaters to get between those communities and do some flood fighting. And you don't have that now. And we could say it was Hurricane Barry or the 15 storms we had in 2020, for example. Must have had 15 to 20 storms in 2020. And, passing around the parish and trying to do what necessary flood fighting it was, and you're traveling around the parish in the middle of a storm and everything is protected. That's a tangible example of the improvements we've made from where we were in 2005, 2002 to where we are in 2025. We are light years ahead of that. We have never been as protected as we are right now. I couldn't recite to you how many levees we have up to 15 feet. We have a bunch of them that are up to 15 feet, which is a significant elevation. That's really good elevation for levee protection. So the risk of flooding from storm surge coming out the Gulf has been greatly reduced in Terrebonne Parish, greatly reduced. So again, for those folks who live up and down the bayous, you are more protected now than you have ever been. And we continue to make significant improvements. Again, the levee board folks that I think you've had on the show could recite all these levees much better than I could. But when you talk about having protection up to 15 feet from flooding, that's a significant elevation. That's really, really very well protected. And you can see that in the data. We have Hurricane Barry. We have 10 houses flood in Lafourche and Terrebonne Parish. And Rita, we had 10,000 flood. I mean, if you look, I believe, for most of the storms in 2020, which again, there were a whole bunch of them. Barry, I believe, was 2019. But I don't think we had any flooding from the storms in 2020, okay? In Ida, we had tremendous amount of wind damage, but the reality is we had very little flood damage. It's a significant achievement because Ida was a tremendous storm. So we're as protected as we've ever been, and even better than that, I still see a lot of activity out there providing significant additional protection every day.
More on the Levee District later in this program.
And after the break, Travis Schonacher and Justin Lane from Sea Level Construction on Louisiana and beyond.
Sea Level Construction is a trusted heavy civil contractor delivering turnkey solutions to the Gulf South. From large-scale infrastructure and power distribution foundations to marine construction, driven piling, specialty foundations, structural fabrication, structural concrete, site development, heavy equipment maintenance, vessel repair, and inshore tugboat services. We also design and supply helical piles nationwide, delivering reliable foundation solutions. Call Sea Level Construction to set the foundation for your next project.
At GIS, putting people first has always been our thing. As we always say, our people are our most important assets. With over 20 office locations, we deliver innovative solutions across 4 key markets: energy, industrial, infrastructure, and power. Our 4 main service groups house over 20 service capabilities, supporting projects from start to finish. We're proud of our legacy and even more excited about what's ahead.
Welcome to Bollinger Shipyards. For nearly a century, our family of skilled shipbuilders has driven innovation and excellence, creating some of the world's most advanced vessels. Today, we are at the forefront of our industry and redefining the future of naval warfare. At Bollinger, we turn challenges into opportunities and careers into legacies. Here, you're part of something bigger. Any yard can build a ship. We don't just build ships. Together, we're building the future.
For more than 65 years, the Greater Lafourche Port Commission has been an important fixture in our community. From humble beginnings in 1960 to a modern-day cornerstone of global commerce, specializing in all things energy-related, we have worked alongside you, our neighbors, and partners to build a brighter and more prosperous tomorrow. Together, we have weathered storms, embraced innovation, and celebrated meaningful milestones. Here's to the past, present, and future of a thriving Lafourche and Louisiana.
Edison Schwest Offshore is more than a fleet. We're an interconnected network of vessels, logistics hubs, and a fast-growing workforce of over 19,000 dedicated professionals across the globe. From the United States to Brazil and the Middle East to Southeast Asia, Schwest provides cutting-edge solutions to a worldwide community. And in the face of evolving demands across the industry, we are committed to operating as the best in the world.
And then our guest segment, we are happy to welcome back Travis Schonacher and Justin Lane from Sea Level Construction.
And they share how technology is affecting their industry and looking ahead to the hiring needs of the future.
The AI world has definitely helped in my day-to-day activities. It's made us much more efficient. But the type of work that we do, I just can't see where it would ever have a big impact on the work that we do, because there's a lot of, look, it's construction. It's physical labor. You have to, you have crews that, go out there and get the jobs done every day. Speaking from a local standpoint, to a local 17-year-old, I worked in a lot of different places, in the Midwest, Texas, and when I moved down here, having an understanding of the environment, the heavy marine environment, the soil conditions that we face down here, having that local knowledge would definitely be a huge advantage to somebody. But I just don't see where, the technology is definitely advanced where it's helped us in a lot of different ways, but I don't ever see it taking over the industry or having a big impact on the industry that we do, just because it's so labor and equipment intensive.
We're heavily recruiting in like the construction management area, civil engineering, structural engineering, mechanical engineering. I mean, these projects are just getting larger. They're only getting more complex. We deal with customers like the Corps of Engineers. So I mean, having that engineering background is definitely important. And there's really, the outlook on that type of work and the future of it, we don't see an end to it. I mean, at some point, maybe things have to slow down, but whenever we project, what's coming up in the future, I mean, we only see growth, and also with I think I might've mentioned to Martin that, it's like we are really proud. It is different that when you can be from here and you're working on some of these, it's my neighbors and friends and family, and we're building things, infrastructure that's protecting our houses and protecting our businesses, and we're keeping, the resources here locally instead of outsourcing. To me, it's great opportunities here. There's really many great opportunities.
Obviously, it makes you proud that you're doing things the right way, and Richard has gone above and beyond to give us the opportunity and the growth over those years, the resources and the assets and everything that goes along with that, to be able to do those kinds of things and build the structures that we've built and become a very reputable company in this area, where people say that they want C-level on the job, performing their jobs. I mean, we hear it from a lot of the different owners all over, everybody that we work for, and it does make you very proud to hear them say those things, because there's a lot of other there's other contractors in the area that that we compete with, but I feel like we're the best, and we've earned that reputation, and to hear those types of people say that just reinforces it.
C-Level has established itself as one of the area's fastest growing companies in recent years.
And a huge factor in that success is a steadfast commitment to safety.
That's right. It's the first and most important thing is that it's the right thing to do. I mean, the type of projects that we work on, I mean, there's risk involved. So we have to run a very strict, very safe program. I mean, if you make a mistake, it could be life or death, right? So we that's something that we focus heavily on. We believe our employees should not have to go home at night worried about the safety the next day at work, or so we definitely focus hard on that. And really it's just one of our founding principles that it's just the right thing to do. Guys should not have to be worried about getting hurt at work. And we're going to focus on that and make that a priority. We do all these things, but I guess the two that stand out to me the most are, I see structural steel fabrication in marine construction. And, just as an example, structural steel fabrication, we've worked very hard at expanding our structural steel fabrication capabilities. We've expanded in Thibodaux drastically. We've come to the point to where, we're very efficient at processing and welding and building these complex structural components, where we're actually, building these structural components in Thibodaux and in Berg and in Houma, and we're shipping these all over the country. I mean, we've shipped structural steel components to California, to the Dakotas, to Illinois, all over to the East Coast. So to me, it's great that, we're working on these local projects like H&C, like you've mentioned, but also we're using local workforce to build large complex structural items that are getting shipped all over the country. So to me, that's very important. And then also the marine construction side of it. It's just, when you look at marine construction, so a lot of our local larger flood protection projects, without having local people like our company that can do these larger marine projects, you're bringing in out-of-state contractors. I mean, the H&C project, the only other bidder on that was Kiewit, which is a national company, right? So you're getting that local workforce, and we're using those guys locally to build these larger marine projects that typically high chance that they would be built by out-of-state companies.
Edison Schwest Offshore is more than a fleet. We're an interconnected network of vessels, logistics hubs, and a fast-growing workforce of over 19,000 dedicated professionals across the globe. From the United States to Brazil and the Middle East to Southeast Asia, Schwest provides cutting-edge solutions to a worldwide community. And in the face of evolving demands across the industry, we are committed to operating as the best in the world.
At GIS, putting people first has always been our thing. As we always say, our people are our most important assets. With over 20 office locations, we deliver innovative solutions across 4 key markets: energy, industrial, infrastructure, and power. Our 4 main service groups house over 20 service capabilities, supporting projects from start to finish. We're proud of our legacy and even more excited about what's ahead.
Welcome to Bollinger Shipyards. For nearly a century, our family of skilled shipbuilders has driven innovation and excellence, creating some of the world's most advanced vessels. Today, we are at the forefront of our industry and redefining the future of naval warfare. At Bollinger, we turn challenges into opportunities and careers into legacies. Here, you're part of something bigger. Any yard can build a ship. We don't just build ships. Together, we're building the future.
When it comes to marine towing, Crosby Tugs has over 40 years of experience. We have the know-how to safely assist ships into and out of their berths, escort oil tankers quickly and safely, tow ships, respond to fuel spills, and work in extreme conditions. Founded in 1977 by Vinton and Kurt Crosby, we are one of the largest privately owned marine transportation businesses in the industry. If it's on the water, let Crosby be your transporter.
Sea Level Construction is a trusted heavy civil contractor delivering turnkey solutions to the Gulf South. From large-scale infrastructure and power distribution foundations to marine construction, driven piling, specialty foundations, structural fabrication, structural concrete, site development, heavy equipment maintenance, vessel repair, and inshore tugboat services. We also design and supply helical piles nationwide, delivering reliable foundation solutions. Call Sea Level Construction to set the foundation for your next project.
And we continue with our update on the Terrebonne Levee Conservation District.
Land bridges are the most talked about coastal projects in the state, and CPRA Chair Gordon Dove provides this update.
You're gonna protect and benefit about 200,000 acres. And remember, this only, the protection that they're claiming is only up to Morgans. We're not taking credit for what Morgans is already protecting. So together, between this 94-mile land bridge, is going to be approximately 500,000 acres that you're benefiting protecting with the land bridge. And now this next one is, we've moved the land bridge a little further south below Michon. And with this one, this one goes to the west of Homer Navigation Canal. The next one, if you notice, goes all the way to Fort Lee Bay, you see? Yeah. And if we moved it a little further south of Michon and Lost Lake. So we actually gained more protection by doing that. And then your next one shows the entire one all the way back from Port Sulphur to Fort Lee Bay is approximately 94 miles. It's like driving from Baton Rouge to New Orleans. So it's a very aggressive, large, and remember, we have the monies to do this. We have, this is about $2 billion in projects, and we have that money as we speak from the BP oil spill.
The land bridge is a moving, it's a very alive project. So we are actively working on analyzing where we have, so we're in the engineering and design phase. So, and part of that, when you first initiate a project like this, is you have to look at where you have data and where you don't have data. So we're looking at existing projects through the state. There's all kind of acronyms like NIFWIF, QIPRA, all those things. So we're looking at all those different projects and where they have data, and we're analyzing where do we need to go and get more data. Once we get this data, we can determine like water depths, existing ridges, landowner issues, all those things. And once those things are determined, which we have a report that we did submit last week that is kind of analyzing those criteria. Once those criteria are analyzed, we're going to take that to the next step and design alternatives. That should be done by the end of the summer. Once we have those alternatives identified, we can go and put a path forward for a plan to construct them and what's viable or not viable in those areas. So once that's done, which this is again in its infancy stages, but it's a massive project, and it doesn't include just building a land bridge. It includes marsh creation, ridge restoration, just a bunch of different facets to protect Louisiana's coast from the environment.
I feel pretty good about this place being able to stay intact. You know, money can fix a lot if you spend it appropriately. But you know, the coast is falling apart. You know, they say football field every 30 minutes right now. So you have to stop that. You know, you have to put something in place to stop that from falling apart. You know, the saltwater intrusion and erosion that's taking place right now. This land bridge is going to take care of a lot of that. And we got to put it on the ground as soon as we can. And, you know, in addition to our line in the sand, the levee, the Barrier Islands, that land bridge, which really, it's like a new toy to me and Gordy right now. We're like, man, this is great, man. This is going to impact 433,000 acres. And so that's awesome that you can stop the bleeding and the erosion from taking place by putting that in place, in addition to the levee and the Barrier Islands, saving those.
And it took somebody, you know, we always talk about how strong-willed Tony is. It took somebody as strong-willed as him. I always said, I wish Tony would have been here when Leonard was here. Them two guys put together, I don't know what they would have did, I'll be honest with you. But it's a good thing. I think Leonard would be really proud to see when he had there was two floodgates, one at Bayou Terre, one in Little Collier, with a dream of having the system covering the whole coast. Now the whole system is connected. We're lifting them up, but the system is in place. We're not imagining where the levee is going. We know exactly where the levee is, and all it's got to be done is lift it up. And if the Corps can hurry up and get their stuff done on both ends of the Intercoastal Canal and Duane and then get finished on that side, listen, we're gonna be, even the guys that were planning the stuff before, 20 years ago, we never imagined that we would be in this stage of the game that we're doing. So, and we have a hurricane like we did the last time, and nobody floods. Not one person, not one house gets flooded. Imagine that. Imagine us saying that in a community with 5 coastal communities sticking out to the coast.
The reason people live here is because they want to be here, and nothing's changed to not want to be here. The economics have changed, and I get that. You know, some people have had to make tough decisions, but from a safety standpoint, you know, every day we're better than we were the day before. So I agree with Mr. Dove in that. I'm not going anywhere. You know, and I have firsthand witness to what the perils are. So, but you know, there are some things we need to get corrected around here. Insurance is certainly one of them. You know, and I almost think that's more a political thing than it is an actual result of losses sometimes. So we'll see. We've made a lot of progress in the last 5 years. I hope we make a lot more in the next 5.
Thank you for joining us this week for this look at the Terrebonne Levee Conservation District.
And next week, we continue our look at local levee districts, so join us right here on Louisiana and Beyond.
Louisiana and Beyond is brought to you in part by Edison Schwest Offshore, Bollinger Shipyards, Crosby Tugs LLC, Grand Isle Shipyard, Greater Lafourche Port Commission, Nichols State University, and Sea Level Construction.